So I'd love to switch gears a little bit away from LinkedIn, because since LinkedIn, you've spent a lot of your career working in developer marketing. You know, you started as being like the CMO of Twilio, and then you went on to held interim CMO positions at Algolia, Apollo GraphQL, Vercel, and more. I'd love to know what makes developer marketing different from marketing to other audiences.
Yeah. So correction, I wasn't CMO,
Or you're the
interim
VP
CMO
of
at
global
Vercel.
marketing,
I
right?
was an advisor. It's a great company, and they really get front end devs beautifully. And before that, I was also the head of marketing for VP marketing for Udacity, where aspiring developers were coming to us. So I had the chance also to see what it takes to become one. And developer marketing is, I'm tempted to say it's the same thing, but more. More. You need to be more authentic. You need to be more focused on education. You need to be precise in the claims you make. You need to avoid buzzwords. You just need to help educate. Basically, the main difference is developers need focus time to work. They are used to learning on their own very often, finding resources, reading docs, trying to build things. They have to learn so much all the time because tech changes so fast, and they spend a lot of time also debugging and trying to solve, both be creative and also just fix problems. So the moment you understand that this is all about making them efficient in learning, efficient in building, and efficient in fixing, that changes how you think about things. So, for instance, don't write jargon. Understand that the developer, if they look at your web page and they see buzzwords and jargon, they go straight to the docs. Why? Because that's where there's plain English to them. What your product is explained in simple words. How it works is explained there as well. So why don't you bring that ethos into your copy, email, website, etc. Uh, when they debug, they spend time sometimes looking for a comma or a period that's in the wrong place. And so that means also everything you write needs to be right on. And you need to show a lot of empathy. That means understand how they work, how they learn, what they're trying to do. And the moment you get that right, then it works. But these principles can be completely applied to the rest of marketing. Don't treat your customers as they're smart, because they are. They're creative. They're trying to problem solve. They want you to be authentic. They don't want you to just tell them, "Hey, it's going to be the best outcome possible when you use this." No, describe functionally what it does and how it works, and keep the big claims to a minimum. Because when I tested some very big organizational or benefit oriented claims on the web page, on the website of Twilio, if you're lucky, they don't read them. If you're unlucky, they start tweeting about it and bad mouthing you. But then they exit out to docs.
And I think one of the things Twilio was really good at was like developer evangelism. Like you can't drive down the 101 in San Francisco without seeing like the Ask Your Developer billboards. And I'm curious like how you thought about, yeah, like because you described like education and speaking plain English, but how did you turn these developers into evangelists and make them just like super excited? Was it making them kind of the hero in the organization, or how did you think about that at Twilio?
We were making them the heroes, but when we were talking to another audience, we were always treating. And Jeff Lawson was the founder who said, "Yes, I can build a business that's going to be targeted for developers, and where the developers will be the ones adopting the product and paying." People have used to say developers have no influence, they got no budget, you cannot build a business on them, and he proved that people wrong. Billboards were not targeted developers. So you asked me as we were preparing for this call, like, what campaigns, for instance, did you do to engage developers? Turns out I couldn't really think of one, because campaigns are too gimmicky for them. What we did instead is a bunch of ongoing, call it evergreen education, from what we call stories with code, which is how to tutorials. How do you create a text alert for appointment reminders, for instance, in Python, etc. So basically, let's be where they are learning. So either they're Googling something, how do I do this? I'm stuck. Or they're at a conference or hackathon trying to build hack something as a team. And we were sponsoring a lot of that because we wanted access to giving them a 5-minute demo, being there to support them, showing. And by the way, we're sweating the details of the 5-minute demo to get it absolutely right, to tell a story. So a bunch of educational things. So in the end, the billboard was really there. We kept it to show to decision makers and buyers, to force a dialogue, to position the developers as heroes. Um, and for talent brand purposes. And yes, it really helped the ethos of there's a brand out there, developers that champions you, who are the first probably to show some code on the front of the New York Stock Exchange when we IPO'd, and also doing live demos on stage on the floor, and live streaming that, to really show the new influence and the power of developers and being creative and solving business problems.